These are my opinions and how I did it this time, and I'm sure it'll change in the future. 1. No distractions. I focused solely on this problem. I projected nothing else, meaning I warmed up on the easier boulders and then spent 90 to 100% of my time and effort just doing the moves on this boulder problem. I found that by really focusing all my time and energy on just one problem, I really started to understand all the intricate moves, all the micro beta-ing, and how to really make it a lot more efficient. 2. Work the crux until it became reliable. It took me about 1.5 sessions to finally stick this drop in move, but that's obviously not good enough to make it reliable. So throughout my 9 sessions working on this problem, I kept doing this drop in move sequencing until it finally became reliable somewhere around session 7. And something that I really liked was on session number 9, it took me 5 attempts until I finally sent it, and I didn't miscalculate or fall at all during those 5 attempts, which is a far cry or like a great improvement from my first 2 sessions, upon which it took me all that time just to get it once, which I'm quite proud about. 3. Realization of difficulty in breaking it down. After I managed to stick the drop-in move a few times, I thought to myself, okay, well, I'm sure the rest of the problem is easier than this, and I was sadly mistakenly wrong, because the top portion is a lot harder than just a drop-in move. And this realization was very daunting for me, because I was like, wow, this is so hard, so incredible. If I managed to do this problem, it'd be the hardest thing I've ever done in my entire life. But I didn't let the top portion really hit me that hard, because I was like, oh, well, let me just break it down to its separate segments. First off, I still haven't mastered the first part yet, so let me just do what I can instead of what I want to be able to do. And as long as I focus all my time and effort becoming good at something I'm not so good at, I can now focus that time and effort next becoming adequate at something I'm horrible at, if that makes sense. 4. Active recovery. On my rest days, I didn't just lay around and did nothing. I did some hangboarding, I did some antagonistic work, as well as some stretching. I found that this little bit of movement throughout the day and pumping my fingers with blood was really good to help me recover, which allowed me to climb harder come tomorrow for my next projecting session. 5. Projecting while weak. Even on the days where I felt weak or heavy, I still projected. And maybe this is weird, because you probably shouldn't project on days where you feel really weak and heavy, especially if you're doing something you've never done before, which was I was trying to break into the next new grade. But I found that even though I was weak and heavier that day, by just going through the motions, I was getting that muscle memory really locked into my cranium, and when it came time to send it, then my body would just kind of take over and go through the motions really smoothly. And honestly, I'm not so sure this approach helped me or not, but I want to say it did. 6. Long rest. For individual hard moves like the drop-in move or just going to the pinch, I rested about 5 minutes per each attempt, because it really required me to use all my strength, all my mentalness to really just lock it in really hard, because I wanted to catch it when I was at my best so that I could start building some good muscle memory in, as opposed to catch it when I'm at my worst and it comes out a little bit sloppy. Now, for starting the sequence from the start to the finish, I rested approximately 10 to 15 minutes. 15 minutes is a little bit long and your body does get a little bit cold, but I think 10 minutes is just about right for all the shakiness to wear off and for your mind to come back to a cohesiveness. So I rest about 10 to 15 minutes for my super long goals and attempts. 7. Ask/look for help. I was fortunate enough to be a bouldering in proximity of some really strong climbers, so I asked the young lads, hey young lads, can y'all do this for me? Can y'all flash my project real quick so I could see? And they're like, yeah. So watching them do it allowed me to see, oh wow, you're doing this so different than me. You're not cutting feet, you're not flying off, you're going really slow and static. Now of course it's because they're vastly stronger than me, but it's also, wow, you're able to do this because you're really focusing on this foot or this hand, or you're focusing on this foot and this hand. I was like, oh okay, so when I do this now, I need to focus more on this hand and this foot. And just watching them go through it in real life allowed me to implement it into my climbing to allow me to go through it in real life as well. It's like you see someone else do it and it all suddenly it becomes more feasible. 8. Micro beta. Even if the problem looks really simple, there's always some form of micro beta-ing that you can do to make it a little bit easier for you. For me, my breakthrough was this left foot smear as I go up to this right hand pinch. As I'm looking through all the videos of people doing this, I don't think a single person did this really high left foot smear that I did. And the reason why I had to do it was because I just wasn't strong enough to do the traditional jump up to the right hand pinch and just grab it and cut feet immediately. I had to keep my feet on the wall just a little bit longer so that I could not fall off better so that then I could cut feet and bring my right foot up to this little jib or the right hand and then go to the next move. 9, try hard. Now this goes without saying, but when you're doing something really hard, you should always try hard. So on every single move and on even the send goals from the start, I never once just let go because I was tired. Even though I was tired and even though I know I wouldn't make the entire sequencing, if I was able to hold it, I would try to go to the next move. I never just let go. It's either I fell, I slipped, or I sent it. Those were my 3 options. Otherwise, everything else was just, yeah, well, I never gave up, even though I wasn't strong enough. And I think that really helped me try harder in the future. It's like, oh, it's like the skill of trying hard. If you're really good at trying hard, it really allows you to use all your big muscles to its max potential. Put it that way. 10, I had 0 intentions of giving up. In my head, is either I climb this boulder or I don't climb anything else ever again until I climb this boulder. I thought that if I wanted to do something I've never done before, then I needed to do something I've never done before. And this was going to take a lot of time, effort, and tremendous time and effort. And I also truly believe that I was capable of doing this so long as I just put in the tremendous amount of time and effort as enumerated. I just told myself that if I got closer, then eventually I would get it. And I was getting closer every single week. So I was like, okay, cool, I'm gonna get it. So just don't quit yet and it'll happen. Unfortunately, this went longer than I projected by approximately 3 whole sessions. But it was fine. It was fine. I got it eventually. Bonus 11, set side quests. So while on my journey to do this long boulder and hard boulder, I set myself a bunch of side quests. For example, I just want to get the drop in move 3 times today. Oh, I want to grab this pinch and hold it 3 times today. Oh, I want to do the link from here to here 5 times today. And as I set these micro goals, that really helped me feel good, helped keep my morale up, and did let me know that, wow, I was getting better at this boulder. Now, of course, when I set these goals, these weren't like super easy goals. During that time period, I made them pretty hard, and I think most of the times I didn't hit them, but just getting closer to them did allow me to feel a sense of progression, even though the total main progression wasn't being met, as in hitting the last hold and matching it. And I did all these things, and then it happened, right? And when it happened, it just happened so fast that kind of hard to remember exactly what happened. I do know that when I was going through it and I was going through the goals and the moves, I was like, I messed up like 3-4 times, but I had everything so dialed in and it was good. And the only move where I didn't mess up, where I hit it the best I ever hit, was this right hand pinch. And because I hit that move so well, that basically compensated for all my mistakes I made during this route. Because even after I hit this move, I made a mistake going to the left one. I only managed to grab it with 3 fingers, and as you can see here, I readjust so I could get 4 fingers, and I went to the last move. But yeah, I'm pretty happy, pretty proud about this. Yeah, good job me, yay.